Hi everybody, today I'm going to make a really simple Italian gluten-free bread. If you are gluten sensitive, if you're celiac like I am, having a good bread is just a must. You just have to have a really good bread. So here, let's just get started. So in my bowl, I have 1.5 cups of milk, and you want it to be between 70 to 80 degrees. Add to it 29 grams of sugar, which equals out to 2 tablespoons, and 21 grams of quick rise yeast. It's these little packets, and they come in a packet all stuck together with 3. You use all 3 of them. Mix it all together. As you can see, it's really getting frothy for me. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to measure 310 grams of white rice flour. Oops, I forgot to set my scale. And I can't overemphasize the importance of having a scale that measures grams. Okay, so 310 grams of white rice flour. There we go. And I just take and put that right in my stand mixer. And then we are going to do 120 grams of tapioca starch. So 310 grams equals out to 2 cups. I highly recommend that you do not just go and put 2 cups in there, because if you're off, your bread is going to be off. You really, really need to put it on a scale. And then added to that, we're going to do 2 teaspoons of xanthan gum. One and a half teaspoons of salt. I use a pink Himalayan. And 2 teaspoons of psyllium husk powder. Make sure that it's the powder. Okay, so what you're going to do is just mix it. There we go. It seems to be off a little bit here. Okay, and then to this batter, well, to the dry mix, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now, I have never used any other kind of oil, so, I mean, you could experiment with it if you wanted to. And then you're going to add 3 egg whites at room temperature. And 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Sorry about that, I forgot the vinegar. So 1 teaspoon. Whoops. And then you're going to add your milk and your yeast. And I like to take my little spatula here and clean it all up so I get all the yeast in there. It's a little harder when my mixer is facing the opposite direction of where I'm at. There we go. So you're going to mix this for like 30 seconds. Just kind of to get it all together here. Okay, turn it off and just scrape down your sides. And then you're going to set your mixer. You're going to put it in, don't be afraid to get this thing going. Put it on like a medium. So mine would be like a number 6. And do that for 3 minutes and no less. So in 3 minutes, we'll be back. Okay, our 3 minutes are up, and that gave me time to clean off my table. I just got the mixer shut off. Now the first thing you also want to do, now I'm making mine with a baguette pan. You can buy this on Amazon. So take your pan and put it on a cookie sheet or anything that's a little bit longer than your pan to prepare it. You want to spray it with some oil. I use olive oil. I like to get in here with my fingers and move it around a little bit so it's not all oil in one spot. And then you want to take some cornmeal. You want to sprinkle it on here. See, this catches all your overflow. So I'll put that over here. Put my pan there. Now, here's our dough. Your dough is sticky. Use a spatula and get it away from the sides. Now, you're going to wonder, how do you handle this when it's so sticky? You're going to wet your hands. And you're going to, well, let me wet my hands first. You're going to reach in there and grab your dough. You want to divide your dough in half. Whoops. And you want to shape it. The little bit of water that's on your dough is not going to hurt it. You want to try and get it about 10 inches long. Put it on your baguette pan. You will constantly be wetting your fingers, so you can work with this dough and get it shaped. Because whatever your dough looks like on top, that's how it's going to bake. Now, I like to take my fingers in my water and run it along here to smooth this out a little bit. And that's what it looks like. And then you're going to come along here with a serrated knife, and you're going to cut some slits in it. Sometimes I put my knife in the water to make it a little bit easier. I like to do doubles on these. You don't have to. I like the looks of it. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to cover it just with a cloth. This is like a piece of linen, muslin, whatever you have. Something lightweight so it can rise. Set your bread somewhere warm for, no more than 30 minutes. If you see that it has risen in 20 or 15, that's great, but no sooner than 15. So in the meantime, while this is rising, set your oven to 400 degrees. And in a half hour, we'll be back, and I'll show you what else you need to do. All right, so my bread is now ready for the oven. I like to put sesame seeds on mine, so sprinkle it on. You can sprinkle it on before the bread rises too. It doesn't really matter. So what we're going to do now is, this is what your bread should look like. It has risen. It actually looks pretty good. We're going to pop it in the oven for, at 400 degrees for 35 minutes, or to an internal temperature of 205 to 210. So we'll be back when the bread is done baking. Our gluten-free Italian bread is done baking, and it's cold, but it's not totally cold because I want to cut it while it's still a little warm. So here's what it looks like in the bottom when you bake it in a baguette pan. So we have two. Of course, one is bigger than the other one, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to cut it, and I have found that you really need a bread serrated knife. I like to cut my gluten-free breads kind of like where I put the slit in. And it cuts easier if you put the bread on its side. And there you go. That's what it looks like. So I'm going to have a slice here. Nice warm Italian bread with a big slab of melted butter on it. That is wonderful. This is really good. I hope you give it a try. It's a really good bread. It's super easy. It's simple. Anyone can make it. Thanks for viewing.